and evil people in the world because of the amount of wealth they gather. And they think they are God. They don't care about the human life. Where is the humanity in them? They say they are human, but they are worse than the animals in the bush, in the wild, than in the wideness of the wild. Even a lion roars when he comes out of his cave and out of his rest. He raises his voice and roars and warns all animals to run and depart for their life. But yet, these are human. That they say they have intelligence, but their intelligence is for wickedness and evil. All they do is think of how to conceal, how to hide, how to cover. They make and build themselves a very much cover, a camouflage, so that you will not know that they are coming. They put on the cheap clothing to look like sheep, but they are wolves. They take advantage of the innocence of the children and have no care about what happens to them. But who will protect the children? Their parents cannot protect them. Even the parents are not like our Father. For they don't know what their children are doing. Neither do they care. Neither do they think of what is happening in the life of the children. They look around, they have no father. And they want to go to tell their father or their mother what is wrong with them. But they are no more and not to be found. The father and the mother is pursuing their own glory. They have gone. And because they have no love, we talk about love for the neighbor. What kind of human brings forth into the world a child and not care for her, not care for him, not protect him? What else does a man live for? And they say they are human. Being a human, is that to look like me? Is that what it takes to be a human? To be a human is more than what you see. It is what is in the person, in your heart. The word that comes out of your mouth and takes you to, that's what makes you a human. What you do to one another. How do you treat your neighbor? How do you treat yourself? How do you treat those that is under your care? And they say they are human. And they say that God is not there because they think they are God. And because of the power they assume, they do and say and do all kinds of things. What is your brain? And where is your mind then? If the mind is given to you, and instead of that mind to be able to come up to what is good, to do what is good for yourself, what is good for your children, what is good for your family, what is good for your neighbor, and what is good for people around you, those you meet and encounter in their life, what will they say about you? Rather than your life being a connivance, a conspiracy of like-minded people that live in iniquity and unrighteousness. They only think of that what is evil. Even the Lord was surprised by that. Not that he did not know. He wanted to see how man will use the gift he's given them, and then realize that the mind of man thinks evil all the time. Like those. And they sat in their own little fickle mind. They assume that it is okay to take the life of one of our brothers. Right here in our country. And they all go free. They concoct and they plan and they thought they are going to punish the young people because they are becoming stronger. They are becoming more assertive. They are beginning to exercise the liberty to be free. That's why they took him out. And now they have seen the Lord. They wanted to suppress them. They wanted to oppress them. And now the Lord has stepped in. For they shall see what he has already prophesied even before now. For the prophecy came. And that they will frustrate. And they will go. Then they are making their own plan. The election is coming. What are you going to do? In this hour, pray. Pray for yourself. Jesus Christ being crucified. And the women came and they said, do not worry about me. Do not pray for me. Pray for yourself. For the Lord has seen what the principalities and powers will do unto them if they do this to him. Even with all the signs and the wonders he has done. For they knew that the great power is in him. The Lord showed himself as he's showing himself now. And yet, The mind of man keep thinking of evil and the wickedness. When they finish, they wash their hands. They make their plans and they plot and they act like they didn't know what they had done, and thinking that they can hide from the Lord. Who can hide from God? For the Lord and his judgment always befall man. First you do, and he encourages you, and he there conscientize you and speak to you in your spirit to repent of your unrighteousness and your sin. And yet you decided not to, and then you destroy yourself of your own free will. That same will that the Lord had given to you, that same will that you abused when you decided, rather than love your neighbor, to destroy them. That's a will. The same way you have made your plans. And so also that is the cup that the Lord will use to measure for you. Those they have formed themselves in their head, and they call it hatred because they have already formed God in their own head and say that is not of God. For God is like Christ. They want you to be. That when they slapped him, then he turned the other cheek, as his word was given to us when he was here. And when they decided to judge him, he stood in the judgment so that he be punished. He was showing us of the way to humble yourself, to endure, to be patient, to be persistent, to persevere, so that it was God's doing will be fulfilled in your life, or it was God's doing. If God has not given them the power, will they be able to judge him? But he had done that as a sign, as a father, that the sacrifice he made shall be an atonement unto your unrighteousness and your sin. That in this prayer, as you pray, pray for our leaders. Pray for our leaders, those that in their mouth they profess to be of Christ, but in the things they do in the scaffold and in the dark places, when they sit in their secret places, the word they speak and the plans they make is evil and wicked. The only thing that the Lord have done and have blessed and given to you, they take